103.5 WEZL on the web at WEZL.com.
Keith Urban, and who wouldn't want to be me on the Weasel?
It's 8:17, 17 minutes after. Zach Brown's coming to town. Going to be over at the Family Circle Cup on Daniel Island, Saturday, October 10th. Tickets now on sale. Ticketmaster.com, I think, is where you go get those, isn't it?
That is correct.
Yep. Details, WEZL.com.
And your links to buy tickets there, too.
Keyword concert. There you go. I was, over the weekend, had the absolute pleasure of running into a couple of boys from up the house.
Really?
One of them actually lives here now, and the other one was down visiting and from the mountains. Mm-hmm. And we hooked up. He wanted some peel and eat shrimp. And I said, well, I guess, so we went over to Red's on Shim Creek. I figured that's kind of got the flavor and the atmosphere and the whole thing. So I took him over there. And sure enough, they did. Mm-hmm. But we were talking and drinking water and mango juice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And at some point, I decided I needed to go, to the restroom. And I walked in, and I'd never been in the restroom at this place before. It is like a high school trough. And you ladies won't have a clue what I'm talking about here, because a ladies' restroom and a men's restroom, two different worlds altogether.
Yes.
They're just two different, because apparently there's something going on in the women's room that's really cool, because they like to go in there a lot. Uh-huh. There's a lot.
Got the big mirrors
and it must be clean and stuff. And, men's room's just nasty. They're just nasty. And there's no privacy. And I know back in high school when you went to the restroom, they had this giant, long, wall-long trough.
They used to have those over
porcelain
at the College Park.
Exactly, the old ball field.
The old ball field.
And it had a little metal pipe along the top with holes in it, and that's where the water came from, and it just kind of continuously always flushed.
Right. That's right.
Well, I walked into the men's room over at Red's, and they got one. That's what they have in the men's room.
No kidding.
A ball field trough?
Yeah. So everybody just kind of, stands there and does a business.
Oh, cool.
And it's really funny. It was funny after I thought about it. I walked in, there was a guy standing there. And it kind of surprised me, because I just wasn't used to seeing trough. I hadn't seen a trough since high school. And I looked over at him, and I said, man, how long has it been since you've seen one like that?
Wrong thing to ask somebody at the trough.
And he looked at me. He turned around and looked at me. And again, ladies, there's no privacy in the men's room.
What?
You just do your business.
How long did it take you to realize what you had said?
About the time my teeth closed on that last word, I realized what I had just said. So I just walked up there like I knew what I was doing, and I just started to do my business, and he just stood there and looked at me for a second. Didn't say a word. Just finished his business, went over, washed his hands, and on his way out the door, he said, I'm guessing 1978.
That's funny.
How long's it been since you've seen one like that?
Day before yesterday.
But it was an adventure in male urination, I guess is what it was. I just didn't know people still use troughs like that. Now that, because they got all these, like you said, the mayor put waterless urinals in the new White House over there.
They had a big article yesterday in the paper about the new city hall.
I saw it, yeah.
And it was listing all the things that are green and the ways they're trying to save money and conserve energy. And one of those would be a waterless urinal.
Which I hadn't figured out. I thought about that a long time yesterday.
Yeah.
You'd think you've got to have some kind of water in that system somewhere to flush this thing.
Maybe you bring a small. Maybe everybody's got little bottles of water.
You think so?
And you bring it with you, and you just pour a little bit of it in there when you finish.
I don't know.
Or maybe there's a cup over on the sink, and you go over and fill the cup up and slosh it in there. I don't know how you have a waterless urinal.
I hear it's pretty fancy, though.
Because ladies don't have to worry about all that. It's all.
Well,
it's pretty much done. They build a bathroom for the ladies. It's got water in it.
Yeah.
But apparently they've come up with a way to do waterless bathrooms for men, which they probably, because men are pigs anyway. They don't need water in the men's restroom.
No, I just always aim for the cake thing that they have in there.
At the bottom.
Yeah, the urinal cake.
Right.
Now, have you ever seen those with the spinners on them?
Yeah.
Now, see, you don't see that anymore. There's nothing like a good spinning game when you're in the bathroom.
That's right. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
You remember those?
Well, yeah, but now they've got all these advertisements on the wall, so you're busy reading that kind of stuff and not doing the spinning thing.
Well, I've seen them where they've tacked a cork board up there, and then they have a newspaper, and I'm thinking, how long is it taking you to pee?
That's why they have the trough to get you in and out.
When you can read
and a bunch of people at one time. That's why
I usually read Ken Berger while I'm in the bathroom. I'm standing there looking at Ken Berger and reading his article while I'm.
I've always wanted a urinal at the house. I thought that would, be successful if you had a urinal at the house. That would prove that you were successful.
You don't have any
Other people
indoor
have said that
plumbing
too.
at your house?
No, we have a commode. We have 2 full baths.
But you want to stand up.
I thought it would be neat to have a urinal at the house.
You said you would feel like you had made it if you had a urinal.
I would feel like I would be successful if I had a urinal.
Well, you can get somebody to come over and put one of those in.
How expensive are they? And you think my wife would let me? That's the question.
Well, it's your call.
Would my wife let me?
It's your call.
That brings
She's
us back.
not going to use it.
That brings us. Well, it brings us back to the mason jar. Yeah.
That's right.
No,
I got mason jars.
there must be a reason they don't have them in the house. I mean, nobody.
Have you ever been to a house with a urinal?
No. I went to a house one time that had a commode that shot water at you. I stayed away from that thing. I didn't. I sat on it once, and I got up, and I didn't go back over to that one. I just went out.
A bidet.
I went outside the next time because they lived on the marsh down.
That must have been a fancy house if they had a bidet.
Down toward Edisto. It really wasn't. That's why I was surprised. I sat down that toilet and it started shooting water at me.
You sure it just didn't spring a leak or something?
No, it was.
Busted a pipe.
That's
it.
Hey, joining this highbrow conversation, please welcome from the Post and Courier, Warren Peper. Good morning.
Morning, guys. How's everybody?
Well, we're all just discussing Rick's desire to have a urinal in his house.
I wondered when there'd be something I could jump in on.
Well, you gonna tell me you got one?
No, but and all of a sudden, I flashed to this memory. I used to take, at the time, my oldest son. I'd take him over to Johnson Haygood with me from time to time. We'd go watch the game, then I'd do the interviews afterwards with the players and the coach and stuff. And I would take him in. At Johnson Haygood, they had one of these massive walls where you just stand there, and you got guys from all classes and all ages and sizes and shapes standing up there between quarters, halftime. What I never fully appreciated when I'd put him up there with me just to kind of explain to him how it all worked, at the time, he's only about 7. He's waist high.
Yeah.
So he's looking up and down. He doesn't know what I have brought him in there for.
That'd be a horrible thing, Warren.
Are you kidding me? I mean, no wonder he became a lawyer.
Because I think he's going to take you up before DSS. Have you locked
Oh,
up?
my God.
I'm surprised Dateline didn't get involved.
Yeah.
I know it. There's some serious abuse going on there. I will tell you this. You guys, you keep talking about all the various options and ideas and games that you play. When you get my age, you don't worry about that. You just sit down.
And I know your wife appreciates it, Warren.
Wait a second.
What?
Did Warren Pepper just admit to sitting down when he pees?
Well, at night in the dark, that's the safest option.
Warren, have a great day, buddy.
Good night, everybody.
Diesel time saver traffic from the Gerald's Tire and Michelin Harmony.